All right, we are here with We Came as Romans, a portion at least. If you could start off with your name and what you play in the band.
I'm Joshua, and I play guitar.
All right, awesome. So first off, how's Warped Tour been? What's the fan reactions been like?
It's been good. This is actually only day 4. I think we did Seattle, Portland, San Diego yesterday. Now we're here in Pomona, and so far it's been awesome. It's like our first year on main stage, and so we did it 2 years ago on like a side stage, and this year compared to that, there's honestly no comparison. It's been so much better this year for us.
So your new album's coming out in like about a month. What can fans expect from this album?
Well, as the title kind of implies, tracing back roots is kind of just going back down the timeline through our last CD, understanding what we've grown to be, to our first CD, To Plant a Seed, and trying to kind of just encompass everything that we've done so far. And so, you know, we don't leave any fans behind. We don't leave anyone feeling like we've changed to be a completely new band. But at the same time, you know, we're trying to move forward. Every band wants to make a progression with their new music. And so we've made this progression at the same time trying to, I guess, stay true to where we started as a band.
So would you say that's sort of the theme of the album, just like staying close to roots and also progressing?
More or less, yeah. A lot of the lyrics feel a lot more like To Plant a Seed than they did on Understanding What We've Grown to Be. As far as, I guess, those two CDs, you know, To Plant a Seed was really like happy-go-lucky. I was really young when I wrote the lyrics to it. I was like 18 and 19. And then, you know, Understanding What We've Grown to Be was kind of a darker CD about like dealing with, I guess, the negativity in life. And so this next CD is a lot more like, I guess, positive than that, even though I would say that all of them are. But just like the lyrics, I guess, are a little more like To Plant a Seed, a little more focused on that. But not forgetting, you know, what I went through with Understanding or what the band went through at all. Still like acknowledging it, but just taking that and just moving forward.
So what songs off that new album are you guys playing this year at Warped?
As of now, we're playing Hope and the title track, Tracing Back Roots. Maybe in like a week or two, we'll start to play another song, the next song that we released, because we're definitely going to put out another one before the CD comes out. And just like as soon as that song gets out and gets, you know, I guess a little more notice from fans and people actually want to hear it, instead of we start playing it and people are like, what's going on? You know, because on Warped you have a shorter set, so it's like we have 2 full CDs out as well as, you know, the new singles that we want to play, and it's really hard to pick and choose songs, and there's always going to be some left out that your fans want to hear, and so I guess we'll just see how it goes.
Yeah, so what have the fan reactions been to the new single? What have people been saying in the crowd?
It's been great, honestly. It's been really good. And it's only been out for about like a week, and people already know the words to it and are already singing along, moving to it, so it's been awesome.
So what's the hardest part, kind of veering away from the music, but what's the hardest part that you guys face as a Christian band, like being labeled as a Christian band, like, you know, what is the hardest part of that?
Well, it happens to us. It's happened since the start, being labeled as a Christian band, and I've said, it's funny, because I say in like every interview, and I still somehow get these interviews that are like, tell me about Jesus, and I'm like, I just don't want to talk about that. Like, as a band, we don't have any political agenda, we don't have any religious agenda. We're just out there to try to positively influence and inspire people to live positively as well. And so it's tough because there's not a lot of bands out there that aren't religious or anything like that. So, I mean, we get that thrown on us all the time. And I think that honestly just takes away from what is actually important about our music. And that's, you know, the theme behind it, of being in relationships with people, holding them close to you, going through life with people at your side and not feeling alone. And I think that, you know, we want to do that without having to put any sort of overtone over it. We just want that to be that, and that's it. And for some reason, you know, we will have been a band for 8 years in July, and still to this day people are like, oh, you're my favorite Christian band, and I'm like, oh, you missed something down the line. So hopefully they see this interview then.
Yeah, watch it. Lastly, what advice would you have for upcoming bands, maybe even bands that might believe in, you know, Jesus, or Christian bands per se? What kind of advice would you have for those upcoming people?
Well, just to clarify, there's absolutely nothing wrong with Christian bands. I have a lot of friends in Christian bands. You know, some of the guys in the band are Christians. It's just like we didn't, you know, put that on our band. But just no matter what kind of band you are, there's not, a certain amount of work for a Christian band to make it, or a certain amount of work for a pop punk band to make it, or a certain amount of work for, a ska band, a heavy band. It doesn't matter what kind of band you're in, what religion you practice. It's gonna be super hard, and you just got to grind it out and keep working. And once you think that, you've attained enough and whatever, keep working. Never give up on, like, I guess, the work ethic that you have from the start. You got to keep that going throughout the whole thing.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, check out their new album. Thank you for having us. And that's Cayem Interviews. Take it easy.